Pubcast. If you're not listening to Pubcast, the terrorists are winning. That's what Jay Moore says.
Welcome to the Pubcast. Sit down and enjoy a pint.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to listen to the Mission Impossible episode of the Pubcast. This time, Eric and Allison join me to break down this 1996 spy thriller starring Tom Cruise. This was obviously the beginning of the Mission Impossible franchise, and Tom Cruise saw the big picture of this concept way back in the mid-1990s, as this was the first film he ever produced. He smartly took no salary for this movie, opting for a percentage of the gross, which worked out quite nicely for him in a number of ways. Anyway, this movie has all the hallmarks of both a classic spy movie and a heist movie, but which is it? You'll have to listen to this episode to find out as we break down Mission Impossible.
Good morning, Mr. Phelps. This is your mission should you choose to accept it. Should you or any member of your IM force be caught or killed, the Secretary will disavow all knowledge of your actions. Ethan Hunt will be your point man, as usual. Good luck, Jim.
Simple game. Is he serious?
Always.
It's much worse than you think.
We're being ambushed. Abort, that's an order. They knew we were coming. Do you read me?
I don't care how he did it. I want to know why he did it. You're worried about me. Why you survived.
I'm sure we can find something I have that you need.
No one said me.
These guys are trained to be ghosts. Let's not waste time chasing after him. Just make him come to us. Find something that's personally important to him, and you squeeze.
This whole operation was a decoy.
I can understand you're very upset.
You've never seen me very upset.
This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
All right, Mission Impossible, 1996. So not the
original,
not this 60s series. The no-nonsense plot: an American agent under false suspicion of disloyalty must discover and expose the real spy without help of his organization. Great.
Okay.
Perfect. No-nonsense plot. I don't remember when I saw this one, but I definitely saw it in the theater. It was 96.
I'm sure we saw it together. I have a high level of confidence that that's the case.
Yeah, it would have been summer after you graduated.
Mm-hmm.
Summer after I graduated, even.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those movies that at the time felt big. Promotion was everywhere.
Right.
Tom Cruise's big deal. It was his first time as producer of a movie.
Oh.
And he actually did one of those deals where he didn't take any money up front. He just took a percentage of the gross on the back.
Oh, I think I saw that. And what did they offer him? It was like a ginormous salary.
It was a percentage of the gross profits, but it was...
No, before. What did he turn down?
I didn't see a number.
I think... I wanted to ask you because the number I saw is so ludicrous that he turned down.
Well, he ended up making $70 million on the movie.
Okay. The number he turned down was $20 million salary.
Yeah.
Which is an insane salary to be turning down. Even now, that's a big number.
At the time, guys like him and Jim Carrey and whoever, Tom Hanks or whoever was the other, Harrison Ford, a couple of big guys there were making, that was the going rate for the top stars.
I know, but the idea of turning down that salary.
Clearly did the math.
Sure, it's making an assumption that it's not like Waterworld, you know, like where it's just a pile of garbage.
Yeah. It was pretty insane. I didn't look it up. The director was Brian De Palma.
Okay.
The interesting choice for him.
Yeah, I saw somewhere.
Who is he? Like, what has he directed? Because
like
this is like kind of like a weakness. What?
Scarface, The Untouchables, Carrie, I think.
Yeah.
It's a.
He's from that group of like Spielberg, Scorsese, De Palma. All those guys like knew each other. Even The Godfather, Coppola.
Yeah.
I would say that in general, like I can identify like actors that have been in like obscure actors that have been in certain movies. I am not good at directors. I'm not
either necessarily. Sometimes I can figure it out just by seeing it because of the style.
Sure.
I don't mean the obvious Spielberg, but you'll catch one like, oh, that's definitely a McTiernan film or whatever, you know?
I don't even know who that is, but okay. I mean,
the director of Die Hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Die Hard, Predator, Hunt for Red October.
Die Hard, Red October. You can, if you see them back to back, you can get a feel for the style. Anyway.
Okay. I mean, I
got a couple of them, but not many.
That's better than me. Like I am
Fincher,
I can guess.
Yeah.
I can guess Guy Ritchie usually. Yeah. I can guess Wes Anderson.
Yeah. There's a few.
And that's about it. Like, even like...
Eric's probably better than I am, but...
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, De Palma, I don't know that I have a feel for his work, but I know a lot of the stuff he does I like. But so anyway, what I wanted to get into in this early part of the podcast, I had a question that came up. I wrote it down during the movie last night. And I never thought I'd ask this. No, it's not all that crazy, but it's Mission Impossible. The team is called the IMF, the Impossible Mission Force, right? It's all about spies. Is this a spy movie or is this a heist movie? Because it's got all the hallmarks of a heist movie. Only at the very end is it really a spy movie, I guess, on the train. But short of, and even that, that's just like a weird action movie.
Well, I think it's a heist wrapped in a spy movie. Like it's like a Tootsie Roll Pop. Like there's
right.
A heist is kind of in the middle of it, but everything around it is spy movie.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, but a lot of times spy movies are, it's the spy trying to stop a heist or the equivalent of a heist. This is the spy and his team being the heist team.
But if you...
With the knock list.
Yeah, right. But everything before and after I'm like starting to get into like things I want to talk about with the movie, but
it's fine.
The whole and you pick it up more the second time you watch it, right? Because it's all of the giveaways are told kind of at the end.
Right.
Let me walk you around the room, you know, and then you kind of look and you're like, oh, there's that person's looking. Like you don't notice it the first time you're watching it. But then you see there's this whole secondary story that's happening or secondary set of characters.
Transpose that with Ocean's 13 when they do that. You got Clooney's team. Then you have Tallur, the French guy.
Yeah.
And they're both doing separate heists, but then one team is observing the other one. It reminded me I thought of that when I was watching it last night, where you had you have a spy team and the IMF team, and you have a second IMF team watching the first one, and it was very heist adjacent, is what I was thinking last night.
Yep.
And previously, I would have thought, oh, it's obviously a spy movie, of course.
Right.
kind of it's a heist movie wearing spy movie clothes. As opposed to the sheep and wolf clothing. Eric, what do you think? Other than just co-signing with Allison.
Yeah, to be honest, I never even thought of it that way, but I would still call it a spy movie.
Yeah.
I think first I would too. Yeah. But interesting question.
I know. That was interesting.
Intriguing.
And then one of the things that stood out while watching it, and I couldn't help mention it while we were watching it, was because of the time of the movie, 1996.
Yes.
And some of the things they were trying to pull off with technology, seeing what they came up with and made up out of their asses. Even at the time, I remember us talking about it, like, that's not how the internet works.
Right.
Like, that's not, I don't know what like browser he's using or what that search engine is, but that's
he searched Job, J-O-B, and got no results.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I think I said the same thing to Brendan. I'm like, when was the last time you saw any Google search and got zero results?
Yeah.
I know it's different now.
I was making notes of that. I was making specific notes about that as I was watching it. He searched Bible and got 126 results.
Right. Bible. Job, a.k.a. Job.
I know.
0 results.
To connect to the internet, he actually types internet access.
Yeah.
He types it out.
Even in 96, that was ludicrous.
Right. I mean, I'm trying to think. So when they actually filmed it, before like doing whatever post-production, it was in 94, 95, maybe, if this came out in 96. I mean, it was... I mean,
I'd have to go back and look and see when the various browsers and search engines were started, but stuff was out there. I mean, there
Windows,
was...
Yeah, Windows was a thing. So Windows, Internet Explorer, in theory, would have been a thing.
AOL, Excite. I'm trying to think of those other stupid search engines. Yahoo. I mean, I don't know exactly, but it's crazy. What they try to do is crazy. Yeah. It's fine. It worked out great. You overlook it, but even in the moment, you're like, this is fantasy. This is a fantasy world.
Yeah. The whole, how the mail goes out, the little graphic.
The graphic, the mail. And Eric, we were talking about, he types out his message in English and then sends out, I don't know, 10, 12, 40 different other versions of that. And he types it in different languages because he knows these languages, I guess, as opposed to copying and pasting and then having the internet translate it. Maybe that was a function of 96, but I don't know. It was very dated, that part of it. I mean, forget about the cell phones or lack thereof. But,
the other one that I wrote down, that ridiculous use of the internet. He tries max.com, and that does not exist.
Oh, yeah.
Max.com. Mission Impossible was the third highest grossing movie of that year. The top 10 included Independence Day, $306 million. Twister, $241 million.
Oh, God. It's got my nemesis in there.
Mission Impossible, Independence Day and Twister. Bill Paxton, Bill Pullman. They're fighting for the lead in that year.
Yeah. Well, I'll take Bill Pullman any day.
Okay, Mission Impossible, third with $180 million. And then we go The Rock, Nutty Professor. That's the one with
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Ransom, The Birdcage, A Time to Kill, 101 Dalmatians, and The First Wives Club.
Yeah. Oh, that was a big Matthew McConaughey's.
Yeah,
Time to Kill. That was his big breakthrough. Of those 10, I'll take Mission Impossible and I'll take The Birdcage, but I could pretty much leave the rest.
Yeah. Yeah, the rest of them are not great movies.
I mean, A Time to Kill is good. It's just
fine.
it's just not a movie I would choose to rewatch.
No. Yeah. When we do the best movie year thing, I don't think 96 is going to make it. 96 is so Mission Impossible, it made 180. It only cost $80 million to make. I say only because that's without a fee for Tom Cruise.
Right.
Throw him in there and it's over 100.
Right.
So
that's still a good return.
It's a good return, but it only doubled its money. I mean, that doesn't include marketing and stuff, so who knows what it actually profited.
Is that worldwide or is that domestic?
Right. This is domestic. This is all domestic gross. So worldwide, I'm not sure, but probably double it, right? I mean, close to it. Rotten Tomato score. You want the audience first or the critics first?
Audience.
What do you think the audience gave the first Mission Impossible?
Third highest grossing, I'm going to say 85.
Eric?
I'm going to say 75.
What?
Audience gave it a lukewarm 71.
Really?
Yep.
What?
I know. I'm surprised it's that low. It had to be in the 80s.
Huh. Okay.
And now the critics.
Oh, no. They liked it.
I will say 65.
I'm going to say 70.
Almost got it. The critics gave it a 66.
Wow.
So 66% of the critics liked it, essentially.
2/3.
Yeah.
Huh.
About what I would figure for the critics, but the audience, I'm surprised that's not in the 80s. Come on.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a perfect summer popcorn blockbuster, right. Tom Cruise. Fun. Great. What else do you want?
What are people wanting from that?
What do you want that to be?
It's better than, like, Twister.
Yeah.
It's got an innovative action scene at the end. It's got a little bit of spy stuff, a little bit of heist stuff. It's right. Tom Cruise. It's...
From what I was reading about the movie last night, I feel like there was a little bit of backlash against it because of it wasn't loyal to the source material.
I did see that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like the John Voight character is Peter Graves from the TV show.
Yep.
And the way that he sort of became the villain and sort of it turned off a lot of the diehard fans of the TV show.
Yeah.
So people were wanting it to be more like the show and not its own movie.
Yeah, I mean.
All right.
I don't know how many quote unquote main characters were in the original series. Well, let's say it was 4 or 5.
Right.
I think they had a core 3, but maybe it was 4 or 5. Only one was in this movie, Jim Phelps, and he was not that big of a character in this movie.
I mean, he was important.
He was important, but he didn't have as much screen time as anybody else.
I have to say, I don't know that I ever watched the show, like a single episode of it. No. Like even like on reruns or, them like replaying it on a Sunday afternoon or anything. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen it.
And it was, people will say they liked it, but I've never seen anyone say, "Oh, I have the DVD set," or I've been watching
going
reruns
on Netflix,
whatever. No, people will do that with Star Trek or whatever 60s show, but not. I don't hear that with Mission Impossible. ever.
I have a friend. He and I recently, like a couple of months ago, were having a conversation about Mission Impossible, and because he had been spending a lot of evenings watching the old episodes and talking about how much he really liked them.
Wow.
Because it was the movies have actually obviously become about, you know, big action and stunts and things like that, but the TV show was about outsmarting the other people, and it was the way that they sort of
which I
unveiled
guess
the plot. It was a much more there was more tension there.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for shooting on my point, Eric. After I say no one's ever said that to me or anybody, and then Eric says it.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one conversation that's the one time I ever had any of that conversation with anybody, but I did have one. There was one person I know.
I think by percentage, you still win on that because of all the people any of us have talked to. Eric's got one person.
Right.
I think your point still stands.
It's definitely a valid point.
And according to Martin Landau, in an earlier treatment, the original plan was to bring back the entire cast of the television series in the movie. As one of the IMF teams that was doing
they're like the second team?
Doing I almost said a heist. God damn it. Doing a mission.
Yeah.
And having them all get killed.
Oh.
You know, in some, thing. So
that would pave way then for the new
the fan
team.
service of the old people being there, but they all got killed off because of some double cross or whatever. And here's the new team that is taking over them.
I feel like that would make people more upset.
I think it's good that they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the only film in the franchise where the character Ethan Hunt doesn't fire a gun. And it's the only one not to have shootouts or gunfights. The body count for this entire movie is just 7 people.
Yeah. And it's mostly at the beginning, right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, if you count Krieger and Phelps exploding in the helicopter at the end, there's 2.
Claire takes a bullet.
Claire takes 1. There's 3.
And then you've got, what's his name, getting spiked in the elevator.
There's 4. And then
Emilio!
I know. That was much more graphic than I remember it being. It's like just on there for a flash, but egads.
So let's talk about that. I want to go back and watch it like frame by frame because I don't know what's going on there.
Why is he still sitting up? Why didn't he lay down?
Right, when he's on top of the elevator.
I guess it's like then he just gets stabbed 100 times?
Elevator goes up, and those, they're not exactly spikes, but they're some sort of safety or stopping device for the elevator before it hits the ceiling, basically. But also there is one unusually long and jagged sword-like thing that comes down, and that's what gets him. That one thing gets him.
Yeah.
Had he moved to the right 8.5 inches, it would have missed him, and then he would have been fine. I don't know.
Well, and it was like how he was looking up, watching it happen. It was like in Austin Powers.
Exactly, Austin Powers.
No.
With the steamroller. The steamroller, or the Zamboni in Deadpool, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous. Emilio Estevez, as Jack in this movie, did the role and is uncredited. You can't. He's not in the credits as a character at all. He doesn't. His name doesn't appear anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
But he's got enough lines.
I know. He did it. I forget why or how, but he's uncredited.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, and then what's her name? And then the spy, like got killed. They were killed at the gate.
Yeah, right.
Sarah, is it Sarah?
Yeah, Kristen Scott Thomas.
Yes.
Sarah and
Galitzin.
One of my theology teachers at Marquette, his last name was Galitzin.
Oh my God.
He was a Russian Orthodox, I guess Russian Orthodox Christian, being that it's Marquette, I assume.
Yeah.
And he was about 6'5".
Oh my God.
Long beard.
Was he Rasputin?
Exactly Rasputin. 6'5", would wear like the like tunics.
No.
Covered shoulder to below his calf.
Oh my
black
God.
tunics with like a
big fur hat.
Not in the winter as a fur hat, but like would wear like some sort of a squared off, like almost like a Muslim type hat.
God.
He was Rasputin. Absolutely.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Last name was Galitzin.
Wow.
Okay. Mission Impossible is the last motion picture from a major studio to be released on for home video on Betamax.
Oh, I did see that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't believe I had no idea beta lasted that long.
I didn't either. That's kind of crazy. This you can see this in the movie, or at least part of this in the movie, but just for those that care, the knock list.
Yeah.
NOC list, the NOC agent, or non-official cover, is disavowed by his or her. So, a knock agent is disavowed by his or her own country should he or she be captured, which essentially means he or she would be executed as an authorized spy. Hence, the knock list gets out, all those people would be left to be on their own and be killed.
Right.
Yeah. They kind of talk about it in the movie, but just for clarity. When Cruise's Ethan Hunt looks over the list of aliases and code names on the knock list, one of them is Maverick.
I saw that. That's awesome.
Good old Maverick. When Jim Phelps is getting his mission on the airplane, his team is shown one by one with their names and aliases. Here are the aliases that are listed. Jack Harmon is Emilio Estevez. His alias is Tony Beretta, which is the character from the cop show Beretta.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sarah Davies, which is Kristen Scott Thomas. Her alias is Sarah Walker. Hannah Williams' alias is Pauline Brady. And Ethan Hunt's alias is Philippe Duchette.
Huh. All right. Interesting.
Yeah. All that means nothing. So great.
And another small point, I found it fascinating as I was watching it that they let Jim. He was smoking on an airplane. That's all that the movie is.
Which, yeah, even in '96, that was not happening.
Yeah.
Right.
So I got one
ahead.
for you.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you saw this, but Claire's character was inspired by the character Vesper Lynd from the Bond.
I saw
books.
something like that. Yeah.
Like, you kind of look back now at it. It's like, oh yeah, I can kind of see that connection.
Mm-hmm. There were like scenes cut from the script, or cut in editing room, that more overtly solidified the relationship between Ethan Hunt and Claire.
Yeah,
that there was something going on there. It's easy to miss it in the movie.
Right.
Okay. Blah, blah, blah. The exploding fish tank stunt was reportedly Cruise's idea. De Palma tried to shoot it with a stunt double, but the results were unconvincing, so that really is Tom Cruise when you see fleeing from 16 tons of water.
So did they do that twice? Like multiple times?
I did read that. Yeah.
I would assume
When it's facing the building and the water's coming towards the camera and it's Tom Cruise jumping, that's happening like in like Pinewood Studios. But then when it's facing the other way and he's running out into the square away from the water, that's like on location in Prague.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Which when we were there, we tried to figure out exactly like which storefront that point of view was from. We were in that
definitely
old town
there,
square.
Yeah, we couldn't figure, obviously that aquarium, whatever it's called, bar, restaurant is not real, but we couldn't find where it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But there were we were in and around a lot of the places where that movie was shot. And definitely we were talking about this movie as we were there, trying to figure out where certain buildings were or which scene was shot where. Yeah,
it is kind of cool because, you know, it doesn't take a lot of effort to go see and realize, oh, this was shot here, this is shot there, where he was when he did this. It's pretty obvious.
Yep.
The 6-digit code to the vault holding the knock list, 789551, courtesy of William Dunlow. I don't think it means anything.
Oh, I was like waiting for the punchline. Like, what are we doing?
I'm only providing the numbers.
I'm like, is it spelling something? Like, what are we doing?
Turn it upside down and it says boobs. No. I don't know what it is. I don't have a ton more trivia. I have some casting stuff. I have one thing I want to mention, but it can be after this stuff.
So I saw one thing that the White Vault was inspired by 2001: A Space Odyssey to have it be like this ultra modern kind of absent of all human feeling, emotion, warmth, anything like that, which I thought was kind of interesting. Yeah. And then the other thing that I've got, I'll let Eric go, is the sleight of hand tricks that were happening was actually Tom Cruise, that there were no camera tricks.
The one he does with the CD out to the side, I have a hard time believing that there's no CG involved in that one. Just
after he does it, if you look closely, you can see the disc up his sleeve. You can see
really?
like there's you can see like the shape of it in his sleeve.
Then I fully believe it. Because I was thinking he was trying to hide it like in his hand or behind his hand, and the width of that CD it's too big. It can't fit behind his hand in any dimension. It's not gonna work. In his sleeve, great. Got it. Makes sense. Now I gotta go back and watch it again.
That I did definitely appreciate that now, but I do want to know, did he learn that for the movie, or
no way.
Is he all into close-up magic?
He is into close-up magic. It's Tom Cruise mind freak.
He is with the judge from Night Court, and they're just doing tricks with each other. What's his name? Harry.
Harry Henderson.
It's Tom Cruise and David Blaine going.
Oh my God!
To the Dallas Cowboys and tricking Deion Sanders with some close-up magic. Yeah. Eric, feel free to jump in if you have something, but I did see they are currently in production with Mission Impossible 7 and 8.
Oh my God.
And
yes. Well, 7 for sure. I think they were supposed to be doing them back to back, but because of COVID, I think they postponed 8.
Sure.
I was thinking maybe that your combination was going to be the number of Mission Impossibles that they were going to make.
No.
7, 8, 9, 5, 5, 1.
Well, maybe. The interesting thing I saw about number 7 and 8 is that it looks like Kittredge is coming back for both those movies.
Oh, really?
Yes, he is. Same actor.
And I think the same
actor. Same actor.
Which, as a side note, we can get there when we get there, but Why isn't that actor in everything? He's in like 2 of my favorite movies, and he's really good.
Yeah.
As a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else was he in?
Clear and Present Danger.
Oh yes, he definitely was in that.
Yeah.
He had a jail-free card.
Yeah.
And if I'm not, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Max's bodyguard, the guy who's got the long blonde hair in this one, doesn't he show up again in like Ghost Protocol? It's just like, does he even say anything? Just like Tom Cruise like turns around and he's there. He's a bodyguard for somebody else, and he just sort of, there's a look of recognition, and then they just sort of carry on.
Well, that would be awesome. I want to. I think that's it. And why was he not played by? Was that Alexander Goodenough from Die Hard of the Money Pit? Now you finally got to where I want you to go. That guy, that big blonde German henchman, was also one of the German henchmen in Die Hard.
Oh, really?
He was the guy who was fighting Bruce Willis with the gray tracksuit on.
Yeah, he definitely.
Oh, the brother. It was his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hans.
Now that you say that, that's absolutely him.
It's totally him.
By the way, he had the largest overcoat on that I have ever seen on any human being. Like, I thought there were like 17 people under there.
He has like 80s level football shoulder pads on.
Yeah. It was distracting how much was going on there. All of them have big overcoats on, but that
dude's
was insane.
name is Andrei Wisniewski.
Oh.
Which, when I saw him, like, oh, he is the guy from
that's amazing.
Die Hard. I went and checked it, and yeah, he is. So he has a connection to the blonde-haired guy in Die Hard.
Yeah,
and he kind of
stole his look.
Yeah, he stole his identity for Mission Impossible.
And which one did you say that he shows back up in? Ghost Protocol?
I think it's Ghost Protocol.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
I have to look that up at some point. Okay, casting.
Yes.
I'm going to wait for Ethan Hunt because that we come back to the same problem we had with Midnight Run.
Okay.
With that. Jim Phelps. People who were considered for the part of Jim Phelps include Al Pacino, Michael Douglas, and Robert Redford. So instead of John Voight. There is a name that's not on here that I think, A, should have been on the list. B, if you put this guy in for John Voight, I think the movie is better. I think it's a better guy, and that is Gene Hackman. I want Gene Hackman as Phelps. I don't want John Voight in that role. I don't think he's any good. I think he's bad in this movie.
I think there's nothing to him.
Right.
By the way, I have to say, watching this movie, John Voight is way younger
in
this movie than I thought he was. Like, I was looking
his
at
hair
him,
is gray,
like,
but yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, he's like young, and it is not as big of a stretch that he's married to Claire.
Right.
As opposed to when I first watched this movie, I'm like, why in the world is she with a 70-year-old man?
Yeah. So in the movie, even the actress, she's like, I don't know, call it 34, 33, I don't know. And he's like 53, 52, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. I noticed that. I want Gene Hackman in that role. I don't want John Voight.
I think it needed a touch more personality, I think, to it. But
I'm not a big John Voight guy anyway.
I would not have minded Robert Redford, though. I think that would have been good, too.
Yeah.
Although he sort of plays that character now in, like, the Avengers.
Yeah. Well, and Gene Hackman did it in a few different movies, kind of, so.
Yeah.
It would have been, I don't know, it might have been too much like The Firm. Because it was Tom Cruise and Gene Hackman in The Firm, so maybe, I don't know.
Well, then bring in Wilford Brimley. Let's just do that.
Wilford Brimley be Max?
By the way, that was supposed to be, well, maybe you were going to talk about this now. The Max character was originally supposed to be played by a man. They just didn't change the name.
I didn't see that, but totally believe it. Yeah.
I like it is played
Changing
by a
it up,
woman.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see any who else was considered for that role. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Claire, I have two. Director Brian De Palma originally offered the role to Juliette Binoche. And it says the role was also originally offered to Genevieve, I'll say it because I don't know French, Bujold, Bujold. I don't know who that is, but Juliette Binoche, fine.
Binochet? Isn't it Binochet?
Is it?
Isn't it?
I always
say Binoche.
I thought it was Binoche.
Is it Binoche?
I believe so, yeah.
Maybe the American version of it. I don't know how it's
Binoche.
actually pronounced.
All right.
French is not my strong
No.
suit. I can't even fake it to get through it.
What was Robbie's?
Jean Reno.
Jean Reno, who's in this movie.
Yep. I was waiting for Jean Reno to come up again.
Oh, I have much to say about Jean Reno later. Okay, Ethan Hunt.
Okay.
I have a few of these, but I have no faith that all of them are accurate. So let's take it all with a grain of salt.
Okay.
Potentials for Ethan Hunt include Bruce Willis, John Travolta, Nicolas Cage, right. Ralph Fiennes. I don't know.
Oh.
Huh?
Really? In 96?
If you're playing an American spy, his American accent is horrible. And Mel Gibson. And then I have George Clooney was offered the part, but he turned it down to work on the movie One Fine Day. That's all I've got for that. I don't love any of those, really. It's kind of... Because I always thought Cruise he was like the leader of this thing, bought the rights, and he's cast himself.
He was a producer, and I mean,
at no point was anyone else considered. I can't imagine.
That's what I would have expected.
Yeah,
anybody else being considered seems like
I'm not positive about that, but that's what I've always thought. That he was behind getting this thing made, so nobody else is considered. That's all I got, other than the awesome Andre Wisniewski, Max's henchman information. Okay, it's time to recasturbate.
Center.
Better close the door. It's time to recasturbate.
Now. Okay. We've got the Fab Five.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Ethan Hunt, Jim Phelps, Claire, Krieger, and Luther.
Okay.
And then we've got two others, Kittredge and Max. And then as a bonus, if anybody wants to chime in on, we have the three team members that were killed, Jack, Sarah, and Hannah.
Okay.
Before we get started, before we get into the nitty-gritty of you have this, I have that, and the back and forth of who does what, I have an alternate universe.
Oh my gosh, Eric, he has a whole new paper.
That's exciting.
So I was thinking of this, and I was trying to do a let's swap the casts deal. So I was trying to do like a James Bond or a Bourne Identity or something where there'd be like 4 or 5 people that would work from here to over there.
Got it. Okay.
And I found one that pretty much works.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, I usually get tied up with the ages.
Yes, you do.
Or at least connected to it. Ages are out the window with all this.
Okay.
Even in my choices for the characters when we get into it, ages, who cares? Tom Cruise age versus John Voight versus Claire, who cares? So I did that with the swap out anyway. The swap out that I came up with that I think really kind of actually works.
And it's a current movie, or
it's a current movie.
That movie? Okay.
So swapping out the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all 7, the Fab 5 plus the next 2, swap all of them out with the cast of The Gentleman.
Oh.
So Ethan Hunt is Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
Luther, Charlie Hunnam.
Okay.
Krieger, Colin Farrell.
Okay.
Claire, Michelle Dockery.
Yeah.
Jim Phelps, Hugh Grant.
Yes.
Kittredge, Eddie Marsan, Big Dave, the little guy.
Yeah.
And then Max, there was no other woman character in Gentleman, so Max is Jeremy Strong.
Oh my God.
It's
you
put
good.
that cast
good.
together. I think it kind of works. It's a different kind of a movie, but I think it kind of works.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So that was my wild card.
Okay.
Now we can get into the normal stuff. Although even in the normal stuff, I have another wild card.
Oh my God. Okay.
So I'm wondering if I should do my wild card first here, because it might be. So I cast the 7 as a group first, specifically because I did one trick to them that we don't often do. We've done it before, but not that often. And that is the racial swap.
Okay.
So I essentially reversed the races, although it didn't really reverse them. I went to all black cast.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through my all black cast, and then we can do back and forth.
Okay.
My Ethan Hunt in the all black Mission Impossible, Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
My Jim Phelps, Forrest Whitaker. My Claire would be Zendaya.
Mm-hmm.
My Krieger was John David Washington.
Okay.
My Luther was Donald Glover.
Uh-huh.
My Kittredge, I hemmed and hawed about this one. I went with Anthony Mackie as my Kittredge.
Interesting.
I don't know if that one really works.
Mm-hmm.
And then my Max is Alfred Woodard.
Oh, that's good.
I like that whole movie as well, but as a standalone movie.
Yeah, that's good.
I think a version of that works.
Yeah.
You can nitpick here and there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's good.
That would be a good one. Now we can go to the back and forth. Ethan Hunt. Al, who do you have for recasting Ethan Hunt and today's actors?
So I really struggled with this a lot more than I thought I would. With Ethan, I kind of figured out the others relatively quickly, but I've got Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie as my note.
Yeah.
And then
I like both those.
I think who I like the best is Oscar Isaac.
That's good. That totally works. I kind of like the Sebastian Stan.
I considered him too.
Oscar Isaac, yeah.
And I had considered Oscar Isaac too, but I kind of passed on him.
All right.
I don't know. I feel like it's so hard when Tom Cruise is still playing the character and will still be playing the character for quite a bit of some time yet to come.
The Casino Royale situation we had before.
Yeah. Who did you have, Eric?
I also had Michael B. Jordan on my list. I don't know. I was trying to think of actors that seem like they'd be capable to I mean, if we're going in the same direction as far as like the big stunts and the big showpieces and kind of stuff, like who else could be capable of pulling that kind of stuff off, or even seem like they'd be game to try and pulling that stuff off?
Right.
So I have like Michael B. Jordan on that list. Another name, I don't know how well he could do like, and it's a British actor, so how well he could do an American accent, but maybe Taron Egerton.
Oh.
Hmm.
I like that because there's the lighthearted banter that occurs particularly at the beginning.
You picked him because he's the same height as Tom Cruise, right? They're both about 5'7" or whatever.
Yeah.
That's actually I like that.
The one guy I had is Ethan Hunt outside of my other stuff.
I suppose the Kingsman. I mean, with the Kingsman, I guess that kind of is on that same level.
I had Henry Cavill as my Ethan Hunt. I don't love it, but I struggled with Ethan Hunt.
Yeah, time. By far, that was the hardest one.
Yeah. Okay, Allison, Jim Phelps. John's his brother.
So I've got Benedict Cumberbatch.
I almost had him somewhere in this movie like 10 times.
Clive Owen.
I like Clive Owen.
And number 1 is Russell Crowe.
I have Jim Phelps. I have Russell Crowe. I also have a backup of Hugh Jackman, but Russell Crowe is my number 1.
Yep.
Son of
Eric?
I went a little bit different direction. I don't know. My Jim Phelps, maybe a lot of mine might be skewing a little bit too old.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this is one of the movies that I really don't think age matters so much, other than you kind of want a Phelps who's a little bit, it has to be a handful of years older than Ethan Hunt, but
right.
They don't have to be within the same ballpark of those actors. This movie could be almost anybody in any age group.
Yeah. I thought of, I consider Denzel Washington.
Yep. Totally.
Also, again, skewing, maybe it'd be sort of a nod to another spy character, maybe that he already did, maybe Kiefer Sutherland.
I like that.
I do like that one.
One that I kind of, the more I thought about it, the more I enjoyed, and I think it's my number 1 is I would like J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, I certainly considered him, and I did balk at the age because he's
how old is he now?
He's in his mid-60s.
How old is Denzel?
Like 70.
So
they're about maybe they're about the same, mid-60s probably, right? Yeah, it's not the age, it's the mileage. It's, how do you hold up? Yeah, J.K. Simmons 10 years ago, I'm in. Today, I like the Kiefer Sutherland though. I think that's a good one. Claire.
All right.
What do you got?
I'm going to let me do mine first because it's going to be super quick. It doesn't matter who it is. It could literally be any European supermodel that decided they wanted to be an actor. There's nothing to that character in any way whatsoever. It could be played by absolutely anybody.
I consider that too, and then I just put a name to it.
Yeah, it could be anybody.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to say her name, but she is currently playing the judge in Loki. Juju Mbatha-Raw.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I've got Felicity Jones.
Oh.
And the one I think plays it is Alicia Vikander.
I had her too.
Yeah.
That was my one. I had Alicia Vikander, and backing her up was Natalie Portman. Which I have.
That's who I had as
far. Both of them are far too talented.
Of course,
and good actresses to play that ridiculous.
Unlimited budget, and we are attracting whoever we want.
Yeah,
we're all under contract. Okay, Krieger.
Yeah.
Why don't you go first?
Me?
I can if you want.
Okay, I can. So I think the throwaway that you probably have also is Vincent Castle.
I didn't.
Wow, I'm surprised.
I should have because he's French, but
yeah. I've got Daniel Bruhl, who is the bad guy in Avengers in
the Falcon.
He's Colonel Zemo.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the number one I've got is Hugh Laurie.
Oh. Yeah. I like that. I had two. One, I had Javier Bardem.
Oh, yeah.
I think that works.
That's a good one.
One is real. I think this is not what it usually is. I had Tom Hardy as Krieger.
Oh, yeah.
Not as a stunt casting. I think he could make this character work.
Yeah, he could make that work.
Yeah. Eric?
I have two. Jason Statham.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then another one who I think I might he's probably too old at this point, but 10 years ago for sure. Sean Bean.
I thought about Sean Bean. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Wow. We had some good ones for Jean Reno.
Yeah. Jean Reno.
Jean Reno.
Sister of the former Attorney General of the United States.
Right.
Luther, Al.
Yes.
What do you have?
I've got Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I almost had him in a bunch of places too.
I've got Riz Ahmed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will put him anywhere I can is Michael Pena.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Eric, who's your Luther?
When I read when they're talking about the casting of Luther, when they chose Ving Rhames, they said it was because they picked the person who looked the least like the stereotypical hacker that you usually see in a movie. So I stuck in that same vein. My knee-jerk reaction was Terry Crews.
I was going to say Terry Crews, Jason Momoa. Yeah.
I almost put Jason Momoa.
But then my choice, I think, is Lakeith Stanfield.
That's good.
Yeah. I had somebody in this role that I moved somewhere else, and so I'm not going to mention him. So I only have one, and so my backup was James McAvoy as Luther. I want to talk about Luther with regard to not just this movie, but the series of movies. In this movie, he is the computer guy, the hacker, the guy in the chair. Right? In the later movies, the more recent three, that is Simon Pegg, right? What is Luther doing now for that team? Eric, do you have any idea how he distinguishes himself from the other hacker guy?
Well, Simon Pegg started out as the guy in the chair, but then they made a point of it, saying he wanted to be a field agent and went through the training and became a field agent. So Simon Pegg is in the field now. And Luther kind of does both.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I was trying to think. I think they both do both, don't they? Because Peg is often doing computer stuff, but also Ving Rhames is. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I feel like if because they're not always like Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames aren't even necessarily even in the same location
right
when they're doing missions. But if it's like in the same place doing, and one of them's going to be the guy in the chair, it'll be Ving Rhames.
Yeah. Okay. The last two, we have Kittredge and Max.
Okay.
Kittredge, I'll say mine. I had two. I really only have one. But I'll say the second one as well because it's kind of a half-assed one. The half-assed one that I took off this list was Vince Vaughn. I don't think that would. I don't know what I'm doing with that.
You took him off the list, but you just said it?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I wanted you to hear how ridiculous that was.
Okay, all right.
The guy I think who works great is Steve Carell.
Oh.
I think he fits Kittredge really well. Today's Steve Carell.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I've got Michael Shannon.
He's on my list.
We love Michael Shannon on this podcast.
I then changed it up. I went with Jennifer Connelly.
Wow. Okay. Good. I like that one.
Okay.
And then last or first is Edward Norton.
I tried to find a spot for him. I almost had him as Phelps, but I didn't.
So.
Yeah.
I kind of like him being the jerk.
Yep. Eric?
Michael Shannon was on my list. I'll put him, he's my third. My number two, John Hamm.
Oh.
And I think my number one, Bob Odenkirk.
Ah. That's good.
That's actually really good.
Who brings up John Hamm more often, you or Eric?
I don't know.
It might be a tie.
Yeah, there's some sort of
no, it's almost never the wrong choice, but yeah, it's good.
I would not have thought of him, but I think he could be really good.
Yeah,
I like that.
All
right.
One guy I tried to find a spot for, but I couldn't find one, was Fassbender.
I knew it. I knew you would try to.
I was trying.
I was looking for a place also, and I went with Cumberbatch instead of Fassbender.
Yeah. Okay, Mad Max.
All right.
Al, you want to go first?
Sure. I've got Angela Bassett.
That was my Alfred Woodard version. I purposely didn't pick her because my all-black cast started looking a lot like the cast of Black Panther. I can't have another Black Panther actor in there, so I took her off.
Kate Blanchett.
Yep.
And then I thought there's no other choice other than Emma Thompson.
She's on my list.
Yeah. I have two. One is obvious.
Okay.
Tilda Swinton.
Of course.
Yep.
Also on my list.
I don't know why. I am surprised every time, and she does not come up in my list of, like, when I'm, like, thinking of casting this, I never think of
when
her.
You said Kate Blanchett, I'm like, oh, and then Tilda Swinton, because one will become the other one. Eventually, they're just going to become one person. The other one I had was Demi Moore.
Oh, yeah.
Eric, Max?
I had Emma Thompson and Tilda Swinton were both on my list. I also have Helena Bonham Carter.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
And could be a bit of stunt casting here, but I also think it might work. Elizabeth Hurley.
Oh.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
There's a name I'm surprised that didn't come up between the three of us.
Which is?
Meryl Streep.
Oh, I thought about her.
Emma Thompson takes over the Meryl Streep slot, but I'm surprised no one said Meryl Streep.
She's kind of the British Meryl Streep, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, bonus. For those who would like to participate, Jack, Hannah, and Sarah.
I've only got a Jack.
Okay. I will go in reverse order of not importance. I'll get the most irrelevant person out of the way first.
All right.
Hannah, I actually wrote this down. Anyone. Literally any person.
Yep.
Any gender, any race, any whatever.
Does she only say no problem in this movie? Does she have just one line?
Who even knows? Who even cares? The fact that she doesn't go uncredited, but Emilio Estevez does is out of control.
Okay.
So that's done. Sarah, the Kristen Scott Thomas role, I threw in an Anne Hathaway.
Oh, interesting. You know, Kristen Scott Thomas could be Max now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a Sarah?
No.
Oh.
I only have a Jack.
Oh, Eric, did you have a Sarah?
I do not have a Sarah.
All right. Jack. This is where I moved someone out of one position and put him here.
Mm-hmm.
Jack is Charlie Day.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course. As of course.
I had Charlie Day as like a funny Luther. And I'm like, oh no, he is absolutely Jack. There's no other person for it.
Yeah. So I had again, I have unlimited budget for my Mission Impossible.
So I've got Anthony Hopkins?
No. I've got Daniel Radcliffe.
Ah. Yeah.
Dev Patel.
Okay.
And then Kevin Hart.
That could work. How do I say this? It's a small enough role that Kevin Hart can't overwhelm it.
Right.
So it's good.
Shorty for shorty.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have a Jack, Eric?
I did not come in with a Jack, but as we were sitting here, I thought of one, Jason Bateman.
Oh.
Jason Bateman.
Interesting.
Nice.
Interesting.
All right. Memorable scenes and quotable lines.
There are a lot of in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Luther does it.
Yeah.
Max does it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so subtle.
A lot of sounds. Drake Hotel, Chicago.
Are we off on one of your cushy recruiting assignments again?
Yeah, where'd they put you up this time? The Plaza?
Drake Hotel, Chicago. Oh, punishing.
How many times have we said that?
10,000.
Yeah, easily.
Red light, green light.
Yeah, red light, green light. Kittredge, you never see me very upset. That's a good one.
I can understand you're very upset.
Kittredge, you've never seen me very upset.
Pasta lasagna, don't get any on
I
ya.
didn't write that one down. Yeah. Toast.
1, 2, 3. Toast.
Oh, yeah.
Susan and I say that to each other all the time.
It's so good.
This is a movie I can't. We talked about this last week with Midnight Run. It is one of the better movies that they say the title in the movie. They don't say the fucking title in this movie.
No.
I don't know how you possibly could, but it seems like this type of movie, being the first of this clearly going to be a series, you would shoehorn that fucker in there somewhere, but no.
Yeah. Bow tie, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going into, I guess it's
0400.
0400, 4 a.m.,
Right.
4 o'clock.
Yep.
Right. That's definitely.
Oh, I said that about the time of this podcast.
Yeah.
Like, what time are we doing it? 0400, 4 a.m.?
Anytime there's a reference to what time is something happening, that comes up.
Yes.
Yep.
I will say the memorable scene, that mask that gets put on Tom Cruise's head seems ridiculous.
Oh.
All of the bad sewing.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? She is this wealthy sophisticated arms dealer, and
it's supposed to look like some sort of a hostage mask or something.
Right.
Like, just put
it's just ridiculous.
a potato sack on his head, or like
it's
something
ridiculous.
A fucking money bag or something. I don't know.
Just there's just a lot more stitching.
Put a Crown Royal bag over his head. He's small enough.
It's almost like you could put on backwards if he's already handcuffed. Like, just put on the ski mask backwards.
Yeah, put some fucking, just tie it around his eyes like
It's silly. It's silly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I will say that, again, memorable scene. I didn't realize it until I think last night when we were watching it. But, they talk about the second IMF team, and like they point out like certain ones that are at like the event that first night. But there are a couple of others that are eerily just standing and staring at them that aren't even mentioned
In the restaurant, in the Aqua restaurant.
No, in the actual event.
Right. Yeah.
Like, people, it's almost like they're staring right into the camera, but like they're staring at Tom Cruise that I didn't notice. And then I definitely said to Brendan last night, I'm like, oh my God, that's the guy in the bow tie 12 o'clock is in like the
You see him working in the war room.
And
I
he's
had no idea.
And he was actually, and I know it was within the last couple of times that I saw it that I realized Bowtie 12 o'clock is also, he's the waiter standing behind Hannah looking at her.
Yeah.
It took me, I don't know when I realized it, but I know I didn't catch it right away.
I noticed that the first time seeing it in the theater, because it's so, if you are looking anywhere but at her face, he is so clear. He's in such clear focus, and he's clearly looking at her, what she's doing. And then later you see him behind Kittress or behind Tom Cruise in the Aqua thing. And then he's in the war room doing the thing. He's a identifiable character. Looks like a low rent Steve Buscemi.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. That's good.
The final scene, the final chase, the helicopter in the tunnel.
Yeah.
And the train and that whole sequence.
That jacket flying off of him, like when they're on top.
Well, yeah,
that was flappy.
Before the tunnel, but sure, the whole thing. It was cool at the time. It was nuts at the time, but it was new. It's so impossible, improbable.
They got those suction cup grippers, though. Don't they use that in like the other one when they're in Abu Dhabi? Sure. He's climbing up the building or whatever.
But flying that fucking helicopter in that tunnel specifically, which is so low, the whole fucking thing is craziness. Yeah. They might as well have gotten out fucking lightsabers and started fighting on top of the train. Like it was nuts, but it was. Gene Reno was doing a great job flying the helicopter.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. My standard question, which really doesn't matter to this one, but before the end here is, what would you want to see in a sequel? All right, I think we're beyond that.
Yeah.
Sequel or 6?
My Question is, though, assuming we cannot assume this, but let's assume Tom Cruise will not live forever. He may, Scientology and all that.
Right.
What happens to this series? Does it die with Tom Cruise? Does he pass it off to somebody else?
Like James Bond?
Did he try to pass it off to Jeremy Renner a few movies ago, and did that not work? I don't know. What do we think is going on? What's the future of this franchise, do we think? Other than the next two movies, of course. But Eric, what do you think?
20 years.
Yeah, well, do you think this is going to be passed on like James Bond, or just rebooted when somebody else can buy the rights to it? Or does Tom Cruise do this until he can't physically do it anymore?
I think Tom Cruise does it until he can't do it anymore. Someone will reboot it. Like, it's inevitable, but I think a lot of time will have to go by in between.
Yeah. So it'll, his last movie for Mission Impossible will be 2030, and it's over. And then it sits dormant for 20 years, and then somebody picks it up.
I wish they wouldn't wait that long. Like, I wish they would spin it off, and maybe it's another team. Like, it branches off from whatever group he's got now, and it's another adventure.
Because you're following this IMF team. What about the other 30 that are out there?
Right.
Maybe this other team, and they're in Budapest doing whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, have like Simon Pegg or somebody be there to sort of bridge the gap.
Right.
At a certain point, and then
all right.
But I think that franchise is just so you automatically think of Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And it's been his barely even doing anything else these days. It's just so related to him that for anybody else trying to do it too soon afterwards, I think will suffer.
He's gonna regret, like, if this is like such a something that he just loves to do so much, regret that he has amped up every stunt. Like, the next movie's always topping the next stunt.
Right.
That he's going to age himself out of it because of that, rather than going back to kind of the original premise, which is more spy mystery, kind of this covert.
Well, and that goes back to the original thing we were talking about, that the guys, the old guys, or anybody associated with the original Mission Impossible liked the idea that they won with their minds. They won with spycraft, not with guns and shootouts and motorcycle chases and, all that sort of stuff. But that fucking sells, as we know. But I would prefer a little less of the action stuff and a little more of the more interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. How much are they worth?
And now, let's play the How Much Are They Worth game.
Oh my gosh.
We've got Emilio Estevez, Jean Reno, Ving Rhames, John Voight, Tom Cruise. And I know we've done Tom Cruise before, but it doesn't really matter because no one knows what we do.
Whatever that was. Yeah. That information's long gone.
As I've said before, if we did the same person 3 podcasts in a row, we would still all come up with completely different numbers. Yeah. We have no idea. Let's start with Emilio. Emilio. Emilio Estevez's real name is Ramon Gerardo Antonio Estevez.
Whoa.
Or Estevez. Ramon.
All right. The Mighty Ducks, of course. Breakfast Club, Outsiders, St. Elmo's Fire. Men at Work, Young Guns.
Men at Work. Men at Work. That's a good
Love
one.
it.
Yeah, you gotta love that. A movie about two knucklehead garbage men.
Yeah.
Great.
Has he... What's he been in recently?
I think I just saw him in something. Well, or I don't know is the answer. But I think he's done something recently. Did he move behind the camera at all? Is he a producer?
No.
He directed Men at Work.
Director, producer, I don't know.
Well, there's Disney Plus has got the Mighty Ducks TV show now.
Yeah.
He was married to Paula Abdul for 2 years.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means.
All right. I've written a number down that I think is wrong.
He was in Judgment Night.
Oh, yes. Come on, baby.
Repo Man.
With
Right.
those daisies, yeah.
Okay. Emilio. I'm going to put down. I have a number, and this is almost just a guess.
Okay.
Like a out and out, based on nothing guess.
Okay.
So I think he's done some stuff not in front of the camera. I've got 21.
Oh, I wrote 20.
Damn it.
20. I have 25.
Oh, I thought I might be out there. When we're close together, bad things happen. Emilio Estevez has a net worth of $18 million.
Yes.
Can't believe it. I got prices rated.
I gotcha.
Gene Reno.
Gene Reno.
This number is going to be a lot bigger, I think, than we'd expect.
Leon, The Professional, Ronin.
He's been in the Pink Panther movie. He was in The Lion King.
The Five Bloods.
French Kiss.
He's got a lot of recent things with their small.
He's got 114 acting credits.
Yeah, I mean, who knows how many things he's done in France and in Europe that don't get released over here.
Yeah.
The Dream Team. Couples Retreat. He's got a lot of nonsense. Da Vinci Code.
Oh, yeah.
That's the last big thing I've seen him in, right? 2006, Da Vinci Code. Yeah, all right. I've got a number.
I've got a number.
I have a number.
What do you got, Eric?
35.
Al?
25.
41. Jean Reno, a.k.a. Gene Reno. Is a French actor with a net worth of, hold on to your butts, $70 million.
Wow.
Oh.
Are you on the board?
I'm on the board.
Wow.
1-1. Gene Reno, kicking ass. No idea. Ving Rhames. This is a guy who I don't know what happened to him. I don't know why he didn't become a bigger star.
He keeps doing all the Mission Impossible movies.
I know. I feel like he gained 40 pounds and then his career went down the tubes, kind of. Or at least it was limited. Yeah. Mission Impossible 7 and 8 filming, it says. Mission Impossible Fallout. Yeah, he's got a lot of crap.
What's he got on TV shows? He was Kojak?
Was he really?
Yeah, they did a remake, or a Kojak remake.
Ghost Protocol. He's got all the.
He and Tom Cruise are the only two to be in every single Mission Impossible.
Yeah. I wonder how that happened. He must have cozied up to Tom Cruise in some way, right?
Maybe.
I don't know about this guy.
I've got a number.
Eric, do you have a number?
I have a number.
I've got 36.
Oh.
Ugh.
What do you have?
12.
Eric?
15.
See, I think he's got some sort of a side deal with Tom Cruise. I think something's happening there. Ooh. Ving Rhames is an American actor with a net worth of $25 million.
Wow.
So Eric takes it by a nose.
We're all on the board.
Had I said 34, I'd have had it. All right. John Voight, everyone's favorite. Mr. Personality, John Voight.
Oh my gosh. This is a long career. He was a national treasure.
His career was Deer Hunter,
Heat,
Midnight Cowboy,
Heat, Enemy of the State, and
National
then
Treasure,
Mission Impossible, and that's it.
Tomb Raider.
He did Conrad. Manchurian Candidate. He's done a lot of movies.
I know.
He's done a lot of movies. He was in 24, the show.
Oh.
He had that brief cameo in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Rainmaker, Varsity Blues,
He is a working
Pearl
actor.
Harbor.
Oh, yeah, Varsity Blues.
Ray Donovan, he was in.
Zoolander.
Deliverance.
Pearl Harbor.
Deliverance.
Yeah, totally.
Did you hear me say Deliverance?
Enemy of the State. That's the one where Jack Black is in that movie. He said purposefully in his audition and in the movie, he went out of his way to say the title of the movie so that he could potentially be in the trailer.
Oh.
He's running through buildings. He's like an enemy of the state. Like it was one of those type of deals.
Hilarious.
And I think it worked. Okay. What is this? John Voight. I don't know about this guy. I mean,
Staying with my initial, which is probably wrong.
I've got a number. I don't like it. Al, what's your number?
47.
Shit. Eric, what's your number?
55.
52. Johnny Lee Voight. Oh, we have someone got it on the nose. We have a double whammy. John Voight has a net worth of $55 million.
Ah.
Eric gets 2. Eric's up 3-1.
Dang it.
Good God. We were all close, though. I can't believe it. All right. Thomas, Edward, Patrick, Aloysius, Cruz.
This one is. Okay, what's he been in? Just kidding.
Yeah.
Bunch of low budget indie art house kind of stuff, I think.
When we do the special podcast about movie stars,
yeah,
he's going to play a big role. He's got a lot of shit.
Jack Reacher.
In the can, or not yet come out yet.
Jerry Maguire, War of the Worlds.
Mission Impossible, Mummy, Jack Reacher, Edge of Tomorrow, Oblivion, Jack Reacher,
Tropic
Mission
Thunder.
Impossible, Tropic Thunder, he was definitely in that. Valkyrie, War of the Worlds, Collateral, Last Samurai, Austin Powers, Minority Report, Vanilla Sky, Magnolia,
A Few Good Men,
Eyes Wide Shut, A Few Good
Interview
Men,
with a Vampire,
Jerry Maguire, Interview with a Vampire, The Firm, A Few Good Men, Far and Away, Days of Thunder, Born on the 4th of July. Good Christ.
Days of Thunder, Legend.
I mean,
Legend. Born on the 4th of July.
Hang on a second. Let me look at this part. Okay, Okay, this is important to understand. I would normally keep this to myself, so I would have an advantage, but this is important. Mission Impossible was the first movie he was a producer on.
Yeah.
The first. You can imagine since then he has produced a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything he's been in.
Mm-hmm.
Mission Impossible 1, 2, 3,
right, 87,
6.
Mm-hmm.
Vanilla Sky, The Last Samurai, Jack Reacher, Top Gun Maverick, and lots of other stuff in between. Yeah. Director, he has one credit as a director.
Has he ever been in a TV show?
No.
I don't see that. No, I don't think so.
Interesting.
I remember, I can't remember, it was one of the actors that was with him in Risky Business. I can't remember if it was Bronson Pinchot or if it was Curtis Armstrong, Booger from Revenge of the Nerds. It was one of those two. Yeah. They said that they had a conversation with him when they were shooting Risky Business, and Tom Cruise said to them that he would never, ever, ever do television because he thought it would ruin his career.
Yeah.
Like he was very...
And that's... Honestly, that was the thinking at that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has since flipped in the last 15 years, but... okay. Do you have a number?
I wrote something down that's ludicrous speed.
I don't know if I can write down too big of a number, is my problem here. Okay. Okay. I wrote down enough. All right.
Eric, do you have a number?
I have a number.
I wrote a number down where I'm either going to nail it or it's going to be embarrassing.
Okay.
My number is 810.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Yours?
450.
See? Eric, what's your number?
700 million.
Shit. I'm in trouble.
God. Oh. Tom Cruise is an American actor and producer who has a net worth of $600 million.
Ooh.
Eric wins it.
Why? Oh, did he say 700?
He said 700.
Dang it.
4 to 1 to 1.
I thought we were tied distance that I would have gotten it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Wow.
Oh my God, 700.
That
600, sorry.
600, yeah, according to this site. But by tomorrow,
goodness.
it'll be 700 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder how much
he's still what half of what George Spielberg has, or a tenth of what George Lucas has, or whatever the hell that installment was.
Lucas was like $6 billion, and Spielberg was at 1.2 or something. Yeah.
Chump change.
I wonder how much he ended up paying Petey Holmes.
If George Lucas woke up with Tom Cruise's money, he'd kill himself.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
All right.
So that's Mission Impossible. It's
I enjoyed it. Again, like watching it. It's been a while since I've watched it, but I really liked it. And despite the technology, like you can kind of like put that aside for a second. Totally fine.
Yeah, it holds up.
It still works.
It definitely works.
And I like I said earlier, I saw things in it that I did not realize before.
Yeah. It's a good solid spy / heist movie.
Yeah, it took some roll pop.